Hi everyone, thank you so much for checking out this video. Here on Show Style and Spirit, I am Ebony and I want to talk about Kelli Ferrell from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is being sued by a former employee. Now, before we get into the details, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this article, it is allowed. So this story you may have seen on a few blogs today. I will be taking the copy from the Bravo Shade Room. And their headline reads, "A former employee has filed a lawsuit against Kelli Ferrell, accusing her of breach of contract, wage theft, and causing emotional distress." The emotional toll and instability of not getting paid has been crushing. The suit seeks $18,788 in lost wages, back pay, and legal fees, along with $5,000 for emotional distress. Now, you may have peeped my sarcasm in my facial expressions and the change in the tone of my voice when I was quoting the plaintiff in the lawsuit, but you will see why I added some sarcasm. So let's go ahead and get into the caption that's on the Bravo Shade Room. According to US Weekly, Sanaya Casey filed a lawsuit on August 27th against Kelli Ferrell, again from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and her restaurant, Nana's Chicken Waffles. Casey accused Ferrell of breach of contract, wage theft, and causing her emotional distress. Again, according to US Weekly, Casey said that she was hired on July the 8th to work at Nana's restaurant. She worked from August the 8th until August the 15th, so 1 week. She claimed to have received only one payment for services rendered during the time frame. She said she was owed more than $2,000 in wages and back pay. She said Ferrell failed to pay the agreed upon amount for services rendered, despite repeated demands for payment via verbal communication, text messages, and emails. The suit asked for $5,000 for emotional distress. So according to the former worker, Miss Sanaya Casey, she worked for Kelli Ferrell for 1 week and she was owed $2,000 in wages and back pay. And she claims that she reached out to Kelli verbally as well as via text message and via emails, and she was not paid the $2,000. So in addition to that, the lawsuit is asking for $5,000 in emotional distress. Casey goes on to say, "The emotional toll this has taken on my mental health, the instability of not getting paid by my employer has been crushing. The uncertainty of when I'll receive my wages, coupled with the emotional toll of giving my all at work while they knowingly go on with their lives and still withhold payment, has left me feeling devalued and deeply stressed. It's a betrayal that has significantly impacted my mental well-being." Casey demanded a total of $18,788.52 in lost wages, back pay, and unspecified damages, plus legal fees. Casey was considering pressing criminal charges against Ferrell for knowingly withholding payment without documentation and failure to pay and collect taxes on said wages. Now, before we get into Kelli Ferrell's response, I want to say, if you've ever watched previous videos of mine, I've said before that these employers do not care about their employees. If you followed me on Instagram before and I've posted work-related stories on my IG stories, I've captioned them with, these jobs do not care about us. And that is how I feel, regardless of the industry, regardless if you work in sales or in ops or on the production side, you're not cared about. And that was something that took me a really long time to figure out because I lived in a very unrealistic space for a while back when I was a people pleaser. And I thought, oh, if I showed them I have great, amazing attendance, a humble, positive, respectful attitude, plus I work hard and try my best, management will appreciate me and treat me the way that they would want to be treated. No, not at all. I was totally, totally off about that. So, I've always shared that message for people because I want you to put yourself first when it comes to your job. Do what is best for you and in your best interest. But as I was reading the details of this lawsuit, I'm like, wow, she only worked for a week. So while we do experience the mind fuck, the lack of appreciation, the disrespect, the stress, the judgments, and they use those things to affect how they pay you. Only having worked for the restaurant for 1 week, how can she have that to build upon to say that she is deeply stressed and devalued? You only work there a week. And I'm guessing for her to have said that she was promised $2,000, she must have been in a managerial role, perhaps even a general manager. And then for whatever reason, it did not work out. I am curious to know what happened after 1 week. And I feel like, and I don't know, I'm not an attorney, so I don't know in the filing if you have to talk from such feeling. But just in this copy that the Bravo Shade Room has in their caption, besides, she worked there for a week. She said she was promised 2,000. The rest of it is just all emotion and feeling. And I don't know if, as an attorney, the best strategy is to go so emotional in a legal filing because it comes off scammy. It comes off insincere. Like you are using very emotional words to try and win your case versus the facts. And it went from $2,000 for 1 week of work to ballooning up to $18,788.52. So I would just really want the breakdown. We know 2,000 of that is the 1 week's worth of pay, $5,000 of emotional distress, and then she wants legal fees. And legal fees, they say, is like what, a third of something. So if she was to get the emotional distress and the $2,000, that's $7,000. So 1/3 of that would be less than 2,500. So if she was at like about 9,000, I could see that if she was asking for like half of that. So I guess I don't know what the other half would be, but let's get into Kelli Ferrell's response. And it says, due to a routine administrative error that can occasionally occur when launching a new business, Ms. Casey's payment was delayed by 2 weeks. Rather than accepting a certified check that was promptly offered to resolve the matter, she instead chose to pursue a civil suit, one that significantly exaggerates the damages she claims to have suffered during her brief 1-month tenure at Nana's Chicken and Waffles. If this situation had truly caused the level of emotional distress alleged, it stands to reason that she would have accepted the payment when it was repeatedly extended to her. Instead, it appears that Ms. Casey is attempting to leverage the fact that Ms. Ferrell is currently filming The Real Housewives of Atlanta, using this small issue to draw attention and publicity. So I definitely feel like so far Kelli definitely has a strong case, even if the judge awards the young lady the $2,000 and even attorney's fees. And so 1/3 of that would be about $700. And so or no, unless it would be, she would have to provide documentation on what her legal fees are. So maybe that's how it balloons up to the 18 grand. But if the girl Sanaya Casey is calling her attorney every day, emailing them, and they have to respond, that's just going to add on to the bill. But hopefully she's not doing that. But I I feel like Kelly has a strong case just because the amount has ballooned up so much again over 1 week's worth of work. And I think all of the emotion that was put into that initial legal filing, it's just coming off scammy because again, it was just for 1 week's worth of work. It's not like it was for several months, even where she could say for several months, I was helping to get this new restaurant location off the ground and I experienced abuse or harassment, you know. So I just feel like that kind of weakens the plaintiff's case, in my opinion. Now, Kelly is saying that it was an administrative error that led to the young lady getting her payment delayed by 2 weeks, and that she even prepared a certified check for her. So that's like certified funds. When you go to your bank, you fill out the withdrawal slip to take the money out of your account, and then the teller has the withdrawal. The computer is telling them to pay the $2,000, and then now they're going to create like a cashier's check, and then that 2000 goes on there. You know, there's probably like a $5 or $8 cashier's check fee. I'm sure Kelly was absorbing that fee, and then the young lady didn't want the check. So now, according to Kelli Ferrell's rep, I'm just interpreting what they're saying in their statement, Miss Casey. They're saying instead of her cashing that certified check, she wanted to file a civil suit and significantly exaggerate the damages that she claims to have suffered. So it sounds like Kelli Ferrell is definitely going to fight this. But I mean, it's got to be annoying and even stressful to get hit with a lawsuit because even though, in my opinion, Kelly has a strong case, she still has to pay an attorney to defend her in court. So now we have like this, you know, unusual bill that has popped up outside of her normal monthly bills of a mortgage, utilities, groceries, gas for the car, insurance, internet, cell phone. She's got kids. You know, now she has to retain an attorney plus pay them their hourly rate to defend her for this. Now, in terms of the reality TV side, is it giving her more storyline? Absolutely, because we have where her ex-husband did an interview with Tasha K. Then he did his ridiculous press conference. This has been since they've started filming season 17. That was just like a month ago. Then we have her HOA drama with the HOA person who put a boot on her daughter's car, and Kelly did not like that. Oh, I don't miss living in a condo. I think she might be in a detached condo. So the condo complex with the HOA, it was always drama. Okay. Oh, I do not miss that. So I feel bad for Kelly. And then now she has this former employee who worked for her for 1 week. And it went from a $2,000 paycheck to nearly 19 grand in damages. So Kelly's really catching it right now. I know she cannot wait to see 2025 go, but it is giving her storyline for the show. I hope she's getting a decent wage from Bravo to cover her monthly bills, plus dealing with all of these legal things as well. But what do you think about this case? Do you think that Kelli Ferrell has the stronger case, or do you think her former employee does? Let me know your thoughts about what the employee said in her legal filing after working for 1 week. Do you think that it's possible to experience that much stress and feeling devalued after working for a company for 1 week? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. If you have had a rough week or you've had a lot of extra challenges to pop up, or if you experience some sadness. I'm sorry that those things came about. I know what that's like when you get those curveballs. It's not anything that you did wrong. You did not deserve it. I can just hope that you are on the other side looking back on it. Everything's been resolved, or you're close to getting to the resolve. I hope that this weekend you have a balance between relaxing, getting out of the house, whether it's going for a walk or going to see a movie. And I hope you also get some things done, whether you have to log in for work for a little bit, or maybe you have to do laundry or go grocery shopping, plus get some exercise, go to the cider mill or apple orchard if you have those where you live. And, you could check out a movie. There's a new movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, and Teyana Taylor. While at work, I was looking at some showtimes. I was going to go tonight, but it's nearly 3 hours. So I said, with previews, that is a 3 hour production, plus driving to the movie theater after work and driving back home. I'm like, that's my whole evening. Let me just do the responsible thing and work out and make content. So I will find time to do that this weekend, but I know that that's going to be like a 4 hour outing because the movie is so long, plus previews and going to and fro the movie theater. There's also a new scary movie coming out, if that's your thing, Strangers Chapter 2. And, those movies are about when a couple takes a vacation on, like, in a small town, like almost like in the woods, and maybe they're going Airbnb or something, and the people wear the masquerade mask and they take them out. Well, this is chapter 2 because the girls survived and they didn't know it, and then they're going to find out. You may remember the Strangers films from the early 2000s, starring Liv Tyler, the daughter of the rocker Steve Tyler. She was in like the very first Strangers from like the early 2000s. Then they've like brought them back with different people, but that has come out tonight as well. So I'm going to check out the Leonardo DiCaprio film. I think it's going to be really good. In the movie, he's married to Teyana Taylor, and they have a biracial black daughter. And I think they're into like some illegal gangster-ish. So I think it's going to be very, very good. But let me know your weekend plans in the comments as well. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.